We're about to be, and welcome on everybody. It is Hello Pivot Thursday. As you all know, every Thursday we are here live with everybody else in the entire universe, including you. HELLO stands for helping entrepreneurs leverage leading edge optimizations, but most importantly, it stands for helping everyone live life optimally. And today we are here with our special guest, which is a little preview before we get started on her amazing event that's coming up in a couple of weeks. But today I want to introduce to you Crystal Behe, the domestic abuse awareness speaker, coach, advocate, and author of Rise of Crystal Phoenix, a story of how she overcame domestic violence and became the Crystal Phoenix. And so today we have the beautiful Crystal with us. Welcome on in, lovely. How are you today?
Well, thank you. I am almost cameraed out for the day, honestly. Earlier today we were me, Dr. CJ, Gabe, and Susanna did a live about Beyond Boundaries, which just came out over the weekend. So I'm a busy author.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So you have been on lives today. Well, we're going to jump right in here today and make this, a beautiful time, short, sweet, and simple, and share with the beautiful people what we got going on. But I wanted to ask you, Miss Crystal, can you give us a brief overview? I talked about how you were the author of Rise of Crystal Phoenix, and I know that you and I have had amazing conversations behind the scenes. But to our audience, just because we do have this beautiful event coming down the pipeline in 2 weeks from now of your book launch in the metaverse, we really want to talk about, can you give us a brief overview as what readers would expect from your book of Rise of the Crystal Phoenix?
Honestly, what I hope for people to get out of my book is to be able to relate and see that they can overcome the trials of mental and just any abuse in their life and rise above it, that they can see that they are worthy, that they don't deserve to be treated like crap, whether it's in romantic relationship, family relationship, workplace bullying is a really big thing, and you are worth it, and that you deserve better, and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And this is how I did it. My way might not exactly work, but at least give hope to people that they can get out and rise above.
Absolutely. And I think that's such a beautiful thing, because at the end of the day, as we have talked about in the past, there's so many times that we feel that we're just alone. Whenever we're going through in life, we feel that we're just alone by ourselves.
And nobody cares, nobody will listen, or nobody will believe you. And actually, in the back of the book, I have a list of resources for domestic abuse, help centers, call centers, emotional support groups. All of it is included in the back of my book for people to be able to reach out, including to just be able to contact me, whether it be through Facebook or LinkedIn, for support, so that people know that people do want to listen. They do care. They're not alone. They don't have to stay silent.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that we wanted to do, was create this space so we could have this conversation and have an open conversation about it, and especially with your book, right? So I would like to ask, what inspired you to write this book and to share it with the world, right? Because we always share with people your stories, your glory.
Well, I was in a live with a global summit with Dr. CJ, and the head of Rattled Awake series invited me when we had talked about my journey and how I do my audio rooms. I'm an advocate, I'm a speaker, trying to give people a safe space to be heard and to share. And she's like, I want your story. And well, that started that. I wrote a chapter for Rattled Awake Volume 3, and it progressed from there. My mom read that chapter and she was like, okay, that's a great chapter, but I want more. People need to hear your story. She's like, I really think you can help people. And that made me go, wait, what? Who are you? Wait, my kind of moment, because my mom was always you don't air your dirty laundry, you don't talk about it in public, you don't do it. For her to say, I want you to publish a book airing all of our dirty laundry, because I think you can help people, that really spurred Rise of Crystal Phoenix. And I have been informed by about 5 people that have helped me with the editing and stuff, that instead of making it one thick book, I'm going to be doing a series. I'm not given a choice on this one. It seems that way with all of the things that I write, that it's like, I'm not given a choice, I'm given a chore. And but it's really healing. And I do think breaking it up into a series is actually good. Who has the time to read a Harry Potter sized book anymore?
That part. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and elaborate a little more about the series. Like, and what would be the goal of it?
It's breaking down the different things of my life, like the different aspects of my life that actually led to the Rise of Crystal Phoenix, the first book. My next book is going to be talking about the abandonment issues and feeling like I'm not enough, that led to me staying as long as I did. It's going to be kind of breaking down the different aspects of my childhood and the different mental steps that, were reasons why, because everybody has different reasons why they stay, and a lot of them do stem back to their childhood, having daddy issues, mommy issues, abandonment issues, things like that. So I'm breaking the books down into steps of different aspects of why I did stay for as long as I did. And this way it's easier reads. And this, you can pick and choose, which one seems more fitting for you. And in the books, I'm going to give tips and tools of how to overcome, those issues. And each book will have a list of resources for that particular mental state as I go. And I'm also considering making some workbooks to go along with them as well.
Yeah. And so just to, add a little more to the series, because I really hear how much, not only just telling your story, in your book, but really also, within the series, I hear you to share kind of almost a help guide. I don't want to call it that, but it's almost the to give people, in a storytelling way, a guide for them to be able to navigate these seas, because
that's exactly what I'm trying to do, because I'm not going to weigh down my readers with the gory, like the full on gory details of the abuse that I went through.
Yeah.
I hint at certain things, but I don't go into full detail about anything, because I don't want to trigger or activate anybody. I don't want to put them in that negative space.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a narrative with the tools of helping you, overcome, and hopefully, and at times making you see, oh, wait, I didn't think this was, but, it's like, telling your story, people realize, oh, wait, that's going on with me. I didn't think that was a form of abuse. I've heard so many people say, well, he didn't hit me. No, but he broke you down so mentally and emotionally. And honey, that is abuse. I hate to put it like that, but yes, mental and emotional abuse to me is the second worst form of abuse there is. The first form is sexual, because that is a complete violation of your mind and your body. Physical, to me, honestly, is the easiest form of abuse to get over. But the emotional, those scars last forever, and they're very hard to work through. So it's like, I'm hoping that the books give that, resonance, and give people red flags that they start to look for. You might not be going through it, but you might know somebody that is. And that's the whole thing. I want to give tools for people to be able to recognize those red flags and maybe stop it before it starts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. When you share that, I think as we have shared, in the past, in our past conversations, I too have been through a domestic violence situation in my life. And I think a lot of times, like you say, we don't want to talk about the triggering points, but
Yeah.
it's very powerful when we can talk as a community, whether that's with like women or men that are supporting, of this. David and I have this conversation quite a bit as he is an avid supporter in the awareness of this. But I really, in sharing this, people want to know the why. I mean, you don't have to, like you said, you don't have to get in the gory details, but to understand why somebody did. Why did I choose to stay longer? What was my thinking pattern? What was my mental process? Why couldn't I leave as fast? Why, so many things that, again, not diving into those gory details, but when you share a little bit, well, I stuck around because I had children, or because of, I didn't have anybody, and this was the sole person I could lean on, or whatever I didn't have
I wanted him to get help. He promised to get help and change.
Oh, that part too. Absolutely.
The love bombing.
Love bombing. Yeah.
Statistically,
really
it takes
helps
7
people.
times. Statistics say it takes 7 times for a domestic abuse victim to fully leave.
Yeah.
But I mean, the statistics aren't, perfect. I mean, some women get out right away. Some, never get out, even though they try repeatedly. When it comes to a narcissist, 9 times out of 10, unless you completely cut off all contact, they won't let you leave until they are done, because they get a fix from you, whether it's monetary, whether it's, just breaking you down, lifting you up, they get their fix. They get what they want, what they need from you. And a lot of times they'll keep you on a string. They'll have a line of insert, different people here for different things.
Yeah.
I was the perfect wife and mother, and I was the best looking girl, blah, blah, blah. But he had other women on the side that I didn't know about, until one of my, I thought, best friends came to me at the beginning of my overnight shift and tells me that she slept with him in my bed.
Yeah.
And that he was sleeping with 2 other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was the beginning of me saying, I'm done.
And with you sharing your story, as I was sharing, and as we always talk about, your story is your glory, and your story is somebody else's survival guide. And that's the true essence of you sharing your story with people, especially us, facts over your feelings, and you just showcasing those facts that most women don't know and don't leave until this certain amount of time. And with you, sharing your story, that can be one less time that lady or man has to go through that abuse and understand these patterns. And just like you talked about, from the trauma, the drama from our childhood to this place, and even more importantly, with the children that are involved in this, because it's not just you, as you shared, right? It's also the entire surroundings, on the family, on the kids, on everybody, mental well-being, and then their trauma that they have to go through. So this being a series that you'll break out, how you dealt with it, how the kids dealt with it, how the family dealt with it in so many different perspectives. I think this is going to allow not just women, but also men to understand the signs and to be able to have these conversations with other people and have this recognition of, hey, this is wrong. This is not right. And there's a better way to communicate more effectively, be able to get through this. Like, I know you want to eradicate, domestic violence as we move forward.
I would love to eradicate it, but I'm not delusional. What my big goal is to stop victim shaming. I'm actually hoping that people with perfectly healthy relationships will read my books so that they can understand that it's not a choice a lot of times in staying. Um, you know, there's a lot of fear. A lot of times you're so broken down and 9 times out of 10, very isolated, because that's the first thing they do is they start to isolate you. You break off contact with family, with your friends, everything. And they make you out to be the crazy one to everybody else, that nobody will believe you. And if you do have children, they try to use them against you. But that is one big thing that I wish I had realized sooner when it came to my abuse. Because my wake up moment, and I've told this story before, was when my baby girl, 6 years old, about to be 7, looked at me and said, "Mommy, it's okay if Daddy hurts you as long as he comes home." Hell no. I really want to empathize, like, make it clear. Don't stay for the kids. Don't think that having a complete family is better, because what are you teaching them? We're teaching our sons that it's okay to beat down women, that it's okay to be, a monster to their moms, their siblings, to their women. And we're teaching our daughters that they have to be subservient and bow down to their partners. And no, stand up for yourself, stand up for your family. So we don't want to be teaching future generations that. And honestly, I get you love your partner, but unless they are willing to go to therapy on their own, not court mandated, and actually do the process and, recognize, okay, I messed up. Don't stick around. It's not worth it. You can do better. Even if you're by yourself, you can do better.
Yeah. You speak to that, and the fact of, when David was sharing about eradicating, and you're like, I'm not delusional, because you understand how big of a task that is. And a lot of times, as a solutionist, as I am, I think, and I go back to what is the source of this issue? And this source really is generational trauma. And in order for us to eradicate it, we have to really dig deep into generational trauma and start healing as individuals. Because as you said, like, for example, when your 6, almost 7-year-old said, "It's okay if Daddy hurts you as long as he comes home, Mommy," it was right then and there that you said, "Oh, hell no, we're going to change this situation," because you knew the impact it would have on future generations. You knew that if she stayed in that environment and watched you in that environment, that one day when she's 20 years down the road, she's going to be in that same environment, and then think that it's okay to be in that environment. And then we have a generational issue that continues. Now we have a generational issue on the side of the trauma of the person who's doing the abuse. And then we have a generational issue on the side of, the person who is being abused. And again, I say that in person because, right now we're speaking about, yours, Crystals, which is, a woman's domestic violence, but it does happen to men as well.
Oh, yeah. Charles, who I believe is on our LinkedIn feed, actually, is a survivor of domestic abuse as well. I have quite a few male friends that have suffered through intense emotional domestic abuse.
Yeah.
Women can be vindictive and mean, man. I mean,
100%.
I've dated both sides. I jokingly now say I'm matsexual because I have found my soulmate, but I swear, some of the women I dated were like almost on par with my ex.
Yeah.
Like with how vindictive and mean they can be, and they can break you down. And
Yeah.
a man who is loving and supportive and wants to have a good relationship with his partner or his wife, you know, it's not that they're weak, it's just they systematically break you down. And yeah, anybody can go through it. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be, it's not just heterosexual relationships. Any
Yeah.
can go through it.
A human with a human, and it doesn't even, I mean, we can get as broad as it doesn't even have to be an intimate, physical sexual relationship. It can be, we see all of these traumas and domestic is because it's categories there, but that trauma that you see just oozes out everywhere in people's lives. So it'll be maybe in a family relationship. It can be in a domestic, situation. It can be in a workplace situation.
Oh yeah.
It can be everywhere. And it's kind of like what relationship is that? And then, and so you're absolutely right. Just because absolutely, Charles, to be very frank, David has been through domestic violence. David had a significant other in the past who was very physical with him. And David's a big dude. But my point being is,
I'll never forget the time, that I was locked in the restroom again for the second time, and she took the drill from the kitchen and drilled the doorknob off, looked at me through the doorknob and said, "I'm coming in there," and came in there and pushed me. I hit my head up against the bathroom sink. And I mean, she broke my toe. She literally grabbed me in my testicles, and it was everything. And that was the final straw. And so you are absolutely right, of how this can impact people even to this day, of how there's just little things that happen. But this is where we get to share our stories. And this is where we get to help other people through their growth and through their journey.
Yeah.
And to let them know that there is a brighter side, after you get past this, as long as you're willing to, and under, all of a sudden, not.
Yeah.
And what happens is that we actually start becoming what we hate.
Yeah.
And that's something that I encourage people not to do, is become what they hate, because then that gets us in a.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like David. Did David freeze us? I think he
he did.
That. But yeah, absolutely in that whole realm. And so I think it's very important for us always to hold space for, domestic violence, as you said, whether it is whatever relationship, heterosexual or, same sex.
It doesn't matter what kind of relationship it is.
It really doesn't. So, so as we, as we're talking about the book here, the whole reason we're chatting about, your past and your experience and how you've, risen from the ashes, and now why you go by Crystal Phoenix, as an author, also as, a speaker and a coach, and you embody that. We are hosting your amazing book launch here at April. That's exactly 2 weeks from today, in our metaverse. So we invite everybody who is watching to come join us at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can literally go out to thehellollc.io. We are going to have a big button at the top. You just click it from your phone, from your laptop, from your computer, from your
headset.
I mean, every which way of technology, just tap it and you will drop right into the book launch. And we're going to have lots of fun in there. We're going to not only have a Q&A with Miss Crystal, but we're also going to very much have a book reading. So she's going to read some excerpts out of there. We're going to do some trivia, and we're just going to have some fun and bring awareness, bring some positivity within this, and understand how we as a community can really embrace that. And so I'm excited for that. And so I'm going to lead up to my question of, when you had the choice to launch your book, why did you choose to do it within the metaverse? Why not in a traditional setting that most people do?
I was excited for this question.
I know. Take it away, love.
Okay. Well, I wanted to do it in the metaverse because, first off, I love the events that you guys have done in Hello Closet. The Super Bowl party, the Christmas party, they were a lot of fun. And just being in that setting, especially because we talked about how we were going to kind of customize it for the launch. David, if you could go a little bit over to where the little,
yeah, love, if you want to leave us here, love, if you just want to run over there real quick to the other computer. And
no, I'm sorry. I thought he was still in there.
Got another computer, so I'm going to let him bounce out of there, and he'll go walk around while you talk.
Yeah, because I wanted to show like the little campfire area that I was talking about, because that's kind of the setting that we had talked about doing for it. Perfect. Like the whole campfire setting to where it's like it's really comfortable. It's more it's as close to like doing a live book launch at, say, like Barnes and Noble as but it's better because this could be worldwide. Our friends from all over the world can be joining us, sitting around this campfire talking to me about the book, and asking questions and everything. And it's just such a fun area. I love the whole setting, and everything that we can do in there. So that's why I chose it. And I think that the metaverse, like always talking about, how it is up and coming. It is the big, it's going to be taking over a lot of things, especially with businesses and everything. I'm really excited for it because I'm going to be in my VR headset launching my book. I mean, it's you can almost like hug people in it. It's very personal and it's very comfortable, and I can still stream it to my YouTube channel, to my LinkedIn, everything all at once.
Yeah.
So it's not just, in the VR. It's, it's still streamed everywhere, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great area. I mean, I'm going to do a little spoiler where the trivia is kind of a movie trivia, but it's still like on the topic.
Yeah.
And I will, have a couple of prizes that I will be offering for it and everything. And it's going to be a fun night of getting to know the author, I guess you could say.
Yeah. It's going to be real intimate and be able to fun. And, I look forward to it. One of the reasons I look forward to it so much is, you don't have to get ready. You can just, there's minor amounts of getting ready, which is just information to share back and forth. So, the mechanics work, but you don't have to physically, do your hair, do your makeup, drive to Barnes and Noble. And I want to share with people that David did some research on this, and you have to pay Barnes and Noble like $5,000. You have to, $5,000, yeah, and they keep a portion of your book profits, your book sales, your all of those things, and then you're only at one location. You're not across and available to the entire world, and so it's really cool, Crystal, to see someone who embraces the Web3 technology that is coming down the pipeline. What comes after 2 is 3. So Web 2, we got to go to Web 3. But being able to embrace this so you can reach a wider audience instead of you have to paying money out of your a large amount of money out of your pocket.
I mean, you guys, I love you to death. I mean, we're not going to talk about what you charged me, but I appreciate the friends and family discount that you gave me.
Well, because it comes down to being able to hold a space where the impact you're going to have, right? Like to us, David and I, yeah, okay, so there's a monetary portion of what our efforts are for, but it's not $5,000 worth. I can tell you what happens. The point being is it's about creating the space for the impact worldwide. And a lot of times we get captured and caught up in kind of the capitalistic corporate way of it's got to be super, you got to pay me my money and then whatever you get, that's on your own, kind of way. And that's just not where we're moving to. And that's why I'm so excited to be able not only host your event, but not only to have this conversation, because we're really in times now, guys, that we can start tackling these traumas and we can really start to make a difference. And, so I get super excited to hear about it and, and all of the fun things we're going to do and whatnot.
Who knows? Maybe we'll do support group in here. We've got enough rooms in the plaza to do it.
That's exactly. And that's exactly where, one of the questions, and I'll pass this back over to Mr. Jones if he's back with us here, and he's not frozen, so he can.
Yeah.
He's gonna jump in. Okay. Well, one of our next questions.
Go ahead, ask it.
Was just, basically of the impact of being in metaverse, of how do you see Web3, aka the metaverse, AI, these Web3 solutions, how do you see that being able to affect and impact in a positive way this massive, just I want to call it a plague almost, because it is a plague of trauma. And how do you see Web3 solutions being able to help eradicate it in the future?
Honestly, I think I'm very positive about it. Because like you said, you don't have to get ready. You don't have to put your makeup on. You don't have to do any of that. And it's even better, like I said, like doing like counseling or group sessions than a Zoom meeting, because you don't even have, like, you're in your avatar. I'm trying to figure out a way with my avatar to kind of have like a whole Phoenix outfit. And I'm still not figuring that out. I think I'm going to pass the buck over to Matt and see if he can figure something out on that one. But, you're in your avatar, and so it is a safe space. Nobody actually knows what you look like. You can put any name, but you're still in a safe space. And I know that in some cases, there's been some negative connotations about, doing trauma work and trigger work and things like that, where one girl had killed herself and like they made this big thing about it. And it's like you're latching on to one thing, one scenario. What about the hundreds of other people that it did help? And are you really looking into the whole story when it came to that one person that had a negative experience and everything else that led to it? Because there's so much good that can happen, because you can do trigger work in a controlled, safe environment in the metaverse without actually, being in that area, that scenario that actually triggered you. You're actually safe. You can stop the scenario at any time and, recenter in the metaverse. And, doing support groups. And I was actually thinking while I'm looking around, I'm like, and thinking about how much I love the game Synth Riders. And I'm thinking, I got to talk to Tara about maybe setting up a dance party or something, just, or doing a movie night in here. It's a great thing, because I have family all over the country. I have friends all over the country, and we could come into like the plaza and, just do I'm going to throw out like a random, I'm a Pitch Perfect fan. I love the Pitch Perfect movies, do a Pitch Perfect marathon, like sing along marathon, because you've got the big screen, and it would be a lot of fun. So it's like, there's so many values you could do a cooking class, a virtual cooking class, you know, all kinds of different things. There's so many educational reasons for it. There's mental health reasons that are so positive that I do think it's a great thing. I've had ideas for doing something like you guys are doing ever since I started using the VR, just playing synth writers and everything. When I like started getting my coaching certification, trying to think about how I could bring that into the metaverse, you know, do my coaching in the metaverse. And then here comes Hello Plaza, you know, and you know, to where you can be in the metaverse, but you could do it through your phone. You don't have to have a VR headset and everything. And it's amazing how far technology has come in the last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Hi, Chris. Love you.
I love it. Yeah, and you're so right, because the ability to is outside of all the fun activities we can do, there's so much, you know, of a wider audience that we can be able to provide support to around the world, because there might not be, for instance, you know, there might not be a support channel wherever someone lives, but if they have a cell phone, they can download an app. And if this app, you know, that they can access is not, you know, domestic violence, you know, hotline, so that the significant other who is the perpetrator is not. And my point is to keep it, as we know, anytime you've been in a situation, you have to move in secret. You have to
you have to keep it safe. You have to keep it secure. Like
exactly. And this is a way to be able to, because the app is really, when you pull up the app in the app store, it shows gaming is really what it is.
Yeah.
And so in reality, it allows almost a cover for people to find those resources and that support, and be able to, you know, have, whether it's somebody who can, you know, be right in their neck of the woods, or it's somebody all the way across the world who is just, you know, who is thinking for them, you know, not doing all the thinking, but being in that situation, and you being in that situation before, David being in that situation, you know, the gentleman, you know, on your LinkedIn, and being in that situation, you understand that it comes down to the simple fact of, sometimes we're not always thinking in the right mindset. You know, we're emotionally influenced sometimes. And when we can have a support, you know, arm that can help us. And so I get really, you know, jazzed about that, because the hidden cover that it will be able to provide people, you know, that need that.
We can even, like, a lot of like my clients, that if they are still in, you know, I tell them, like, text me the word Phoenix and send me their location, and I will, within 20 minutes, help will be there.
Yeah.
You know, because having a safe word, especially for people that are still in the situation, and having someone that they can message and just say, you know, one word,
and they know that person knows what to do.
Yeah. Having that backup person as your safety net is, you know, it helps a lot, because it makes you feel a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
You know, having that exit, you know, building that exit strategy, but having that one code that if it gets that bad before you can legit leave, having that one safe word, to you knowing that you've got backup coming.
Yep.
You know, it helps a lot. It does give strength.
It's powerful. You know, it's very powerful, because, you know, you all of a sudden know that you don't have to do the heavy lifting, and that you just kind of have to maintain the peace until you can get to safety. And I mean that by the fact that you just have to sit there and be quiet as long as you can, so safety can get to you. And really, and again, this comes down to the simple fact of there's all of these amazing mechanisms and strategies and tools that we can, we have to implement, that we have to, utilize technology to do these things. But in reality, we also have to understand we got to get to the base of this trauma. We really got to eradicate the base of this trauma on all levels. And I really believe that as humans, if we will start doing some trauma work and really deal with things, boy, not only will this eradicate itself, there's so many other things, like you were sharing, that how something happens, we don't really pay a lot of attention to things when it's not large numbers of people being affected by it, right? Yeah. And it takes me back to the conversation that I heard the other day, which was, 200 people a day die due to fentanyl overdoses. And we don't have people taking action. And the only reason I bring that in is because it's all back to our base of the base issue is trauma, and it shows up in a violent way. It shows up in,
addiction.
It shows up in avoidance, whatever that is, however that shows up. But Absolutely. My point being is we could start eradicating some of this, and not have to turn to the people that we think are going to help that are not there to help us. And now we're out here on our own building communities to do this because the ones that we think are there to help are not, and so, as we, that part. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But
that's a whole other book.
Yeah, exactly. Write another book. Yeah. Yes, that's another portion of how that works. And it's taking conversations like this. It's taking you to be able to write your book, to share your story with others. It's doing all of this, which is helping the community to grow. And, that is exactly what, God bless you. God bless your mother, and I mean that in the sense of all love and light to you, all love and light to your mother for saying, share that story, and allowing that to not be a road, a road bump in the road, stopping you. So as we wrap up today, Ms. Crystal, we first want to invite everybody to join us again for Crystal's book launch coming up in exactly 2 weeks from today at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Crystal's going to have the link. We're going to have the link. You can go out to our website, thehellollc.io. There will be a big link at the top of our business box that will just be a one click and you're in. And so we encourage everybody to show up. It is just like you watching us right now on LinkedIn or YouTube or Instagram or X or Twitch or any of the channels that we're streaming to. You're watching us on a computer or a phone. So you can join us. You do not have to have your headsets. We will be there within our headsets. But
yes, you'll get to see my wonderful avatar.
As we wrap up, Miss Crystal, would you like to leave us with any closing remarks, my love?
Honestly, just live your life with kindness. Ignore the stupid people that are going to try and bring you down and talk crap, because honestly, they're insecure. They have no life. And so why bother? Don't give them the power to affect you. Live your life with kindness. A simple smile and a hello can literally save a life. And just put the good out there, because it will come back. It may not come back when you want it to, but it does come back to you. And just love each other. Be kind. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what storm somebody's going through.
Yeah. So. Absolutely. The storm that we don't know that someone is going through. So kind words, kind gestures. And you know what? I will add to that. Show kindness when others don't.
Exactly.
Show integrity and show, that level of kindness and empathy, even when others don't, whether you physically see it or you don't see it. Just, it is always so important for us to walk in our own path. And so today, we greatly appreciate you, Ms. Crystal. We thank you so much. We appreciate everybody joining us. For those that are watching, don't miss us. We are here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays We are on live. We have started going live all 3 days, so you can catch us on any social media outlet. You can go to our metaverse and watch us every day. And actually, you can join and jump into our metaverse anytime, 24/7, 365. You can go run around the golf carts like Crystal has found. You can go hang out by the campfire and read a book. You can do so much stuff in there. And a lot of times we have replays going on. We'll have sometimes sports going on in there.
The Super Bowl was fun.
Absolutely. So jump in. It's a great time to have fun, hang out with your friends. And look, for those that are watching, if you want a place to hang out with your friends and you want online, just go into our metaverse at Hello Plaza. You can invite your friends. We don't even have to be there. This is an open space that you can use.
It really is. And I've come in all times of the day and just kind of wandered around, hung out, drove the golf carts into the wall when I was trying to get the hang of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need David and Tara or Hello LLC in there with you guys. It is open. It is like we've built a community center of fun and leave the door open 24/7 for you guys to go in, hang out, enjoy yourself, pop in and have a meeting on your own. You don't even need to have a meeting with us. So just, this is a space that we've created for everybody to enjoy. So with that said, we're going to leave you guys with a whole lot of love, kindness. And but most importantly, Mr. Joe, what do we got?
Commitment.
Yeah.
More importantly, commitment.
So with that said, guys, till next
we love
time.
you. Thank you for having me. And I'm looking forward to the 4th and finally being done with the whole book process on this one.
Hey, you got a few more to do, so you're just getting warmed up, girl. That's it. So,
Yeah. Why do I torture myself?
I love it. Well, we said bid everybody adieu and take care. And until next time, we will see you guys next week. And with that, toodles!